Here we go. Hello. I'm quite scared filming this video. I'm with James. You've met James before.
I think this is the end.
Yeah, we are scared. I think we've gone the wrong way, but we are getting to the theatre. Maybe the stage door. We've moved. Oh, we see more signs. It smells of sick. I'm scared. But we are going to see Stages, a video game musical. It's an interactive musical. You may be thinking, Connor, you're not going to like that. It's got an autistic character in, and I've been speaking to the show's people, and because I was like, after something that happened last year, which you may remember, I wanted to make sure that no other plays would ever go through that, so I got in touch with the team. I was going to see if I could do anything. Didn't end up doing anything, but I spoke to the writer and stuff, and I'm very confident that they've got inclusivity and accessibility and all that stuff right at the forefront. I'll speak to you afterwards, but met the writer, director, had a nice little chat with them. Yeah, we're just sitting here waiting for it to begin in just over 5 minutes. There we go. Quick after the show review, very, very quickly.
From me? It's awesome, it's really good, really good.
Approved and autism representation, that was it done right. It was not just, like sometimes you can integrate autism and it's a bit checklisty. That was inclusivity. But I'll expand more when I get back. Next day, I am not at home, I'm at my friend Jake's. Jake, come be in video temporarily. Bonjour. Now go away. Don't worry, there's still colourful lights in here though, so it's still kind of like my room-ish. Anyway, Stages. So I talked about it being an autism musical yesterday. It really isn't, and that's the best part of it. The storyline centres around 4 characters. It's a family of 4, a mum, a dad and 2 kids. One kid is autistic and one kid is going through their trans journey. So different sensitivity issues, but the big thing is that the mum's been diagnosed with cancer. So you've got so many elements there which are sensitive subjects, like anything which has just got autism in, of course we're automatically a bit judgmental towards. But the fact it's handling multiple of these, I don't think that's something that I could expect them to get right at all. But they did, they really did. I was confident going into the show because I'd spoken to Chris, the writer, before, and Adam, the director as well, was also in the email thread. And they definitely had the right reasons going into it, the right ideas about inclusivity. But there's one thing saying that you're going to do it right and delivering on it, and they delivered. The main thing obviously to talk about in this video is autistic representation. So, the character of Aiden. Aiden was played by Max Alexander Taylor, who firstly is on the autism spectrum. I think we're winning points already there, just from getting that representation. Yes, I'm fine with neurotypicals playing autistic characters, but it's always a bonus to have an autistic person playing an autistic character, just because we've been robbed of those opportunities in the past sometimes. This is why you shouldn't film with friends in the room, because somebody will make inappropriate jokes which will never go online. The portrayal, first of all. Now, I find it hard to comment on an autistic person playing an autistic character. I don't. But how can you comment that any of their choices are wrong? Because me talking here may not be presented as typically autistic, but I'm still autistic, so I'm being autistic. We're kind of playing a character online, aren't I? Very much got the impression that he was having to magnify certain things slightly, but it didn't feel in your face. My favourite show, like my favourite play is Curious Incident of the Dog in Nighttime. Funnily enough, coming back for a tour next year, and I think they should have their first autistic Christopher, so there's a tweet in the bio if you want to share. Jake's already shared it, haven't you, Jake?
Yes?
Good. Honor for Christopher 2020. Yay. That's my favourite show, but Christopher the character, yeah, he's absolutely brilliant, and the story centres around him, but the autism's a massive part of his character, which is fine because he's portraying one person on the autism spectrum, and he's done the role that he needs to do from the time that it came, and for opening up autism to new people. It's brilliant, I don't fault it. This actually reminded me a lot of Curious Incident just because of the technical LED element of it all. It was very, yeah, it gave me those vibes. Just got to say actually, this obviously isn't autism related, but it was a video game musical. All the songs in it were like 8-bit tunes, so you just felt like you were in a video game. Really incredibly done. The way Max played the character, I don't know how to explain this without there's very much an autism voice, isn't there? Everyone knows what we mean, and he didn't have that all the time being the important key thing. Me, I think I sound fairly normal at times, but then get me stressed and I sound like the stereotypical autism voice. And that's very much how Max did it. So I assume he was drawing on his own experiences maybe. I didn't get a chance to chat to him afterwards. If I did, I would have dug into all these things. Just got the portrayal right. The fact that a lot of us on the spectrum aren't autism 100% of the time. We've very much got personality, and that personality extended to multiple levels. He was making jokes, which you don't see autistic people making jokes. I know that sounds so strange, but you don't, like, there's normally a laughing point at an autistic person where the autistic character will say something very direct, and that will be funny because it's direct. But when you have the autistic person themselves actually making the joke, it just worked. Another point, which I said to my friend James afterwards, which I have never seen in an autism portrayal, the autistic person is always made out to be the weaker one, the one that needs help. And of course his mum had cancer so in the story. So towards the end of the story, the mum's struggling and Aidan offers to make his mum a cup of tea. I know that sounds simple, but you never see anything like that. You never see the autistic person being thoughtful, being yeah, I don't know. I very much relate to that part. I have to look after people, etc. So it's, yeah, they just did it very, very well. And then another aspect, of course, I said they're siblings, and sibling relationships is something that comes up quite a lot. Atypical, I didn't like how it was done at first, but then I think they've evolved that into a pretty good sibling relationship. This relationship, spot on. Absolutely spot on. It was two siblings, one of them happened to be autistic. They were still very much siblings at the centre of that. You could very much see the points where his sibling was caring though, and did get annoyed with him at times. So it worked out really well, and it was a very realistic representation. I actually don't think there's much to go on about this other than me getting the video out quickly. So maybe if you live around London, you can get a chance to go and see it by the 8th. It's only a small audience, there's only going to be a limited number of tickets, but I do not think this is the end of this show. Everyone in the team, I'm sure, is very hopeful for it to go further. I can't believe how much I'm actually praising something like this. It's great to see it being done right. It's so great. After so many things that have happened wrong, this is going to do good for our community. And I really think we should all support it. I will do a quick warning. Sensory-wise, it's a lot. It's a video game musical. There's lots of bright, colourful lights. I was struggling towards the end of the hour. It's only an hour at the moment, which is cool. But towards the end of the hour, I was getting a bit like that. But we were third row, so we were quite close to the lights. I imagine if you sit back, it would be a lot easier on the eyes. I also wore earplugs throughout the whole thing. I always just do that as a precaution, but I might have been all right without. It was incredible. I don't think I mentioned in this video that the tickets were gifted. I kind of explained, didn't I? But hashtag gifted, all that. Yeah, leave me a comment if you'd never heard about this. Like, it's really cool. Go and do your research online about it. I think there's trailers, there's pictures that you can go and see of it, but it's only on for a limited thing. But this is only the first. This is the start of it, and I can't wait to see where it goes because it really does have potential. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall, yeah, whatever. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake.